All right, and up next, I want to set up the toggle member functionality. So in here in the bottom, we'll have a text with a button. And the moment we click the button, we flip from the login screen to a member screen. So basically, if we haven't registered, then there's going to be 3 inputs. And if the member has already registered and just wants to log in, then of course, we just need to provide only email and password. And we're going to start by setting up the function. So there's going to be a new function by the name of toggle member, and we'll set the state values, and we'll copy all the existing values because keep in mind, we have an object. So if we won't do that, then of course we'll just return is member. And since we have the object, I don't want that. I actually want to return all of the existing values for the name, password, and all that. Then we want to use that is member. So since we have the function that controls that, now we can use it. We can say values member in the heading 3. So if the user is already a member, then we just want to display login. If not, if this is false, then of course we'll display register. And the same deal is with name. So if the user has already registered, we don't need to display the name input. And we can do that with the following logic, where I can say only if this is false. So if the user is not a member, only then display the input. And at the very end, in the form, I want to set up a paragraph. And the same deal. We're looking for is member, and then based on that, we'll have some logic. Now in here, we'll have a little bit of opposite logic, and I'll talk about it once we get there. So first, let's navigate to, not form row. We actually want to go to register. And you know what? This is kind of annoying, so let me do the spring cleaning here. Let's start from the scratch. We're looking for pages. We're looking for a register one. And first, we want to set up the function to toggle member. So const toggle member. Now that is equal to, let's go with set values. Like I said, let's copy the entire thing. So values. And then let's set up is member equal to the opposite. So if it's true, then it's going to be false. If it's false, then it's going to be true. And of course, in here, I need to look for values and dot member. So once we have the function, let's keep on scrolling. And right after the button, we want to set up the paragraph. So this is what I have right now. And instead, I want to set up the paragraph, where I'm going to go with paragraph. And let's just say for now, testing. Now inside of the paragraph, also set up a button that will toggle that value. Now type will be equal to a button. And then let's go with on click. And let's pass in that toggle member. Toggle and then member. Let's save it. So we have testing, and actually I should probably write something. So for now, let's type also testing here. And then as we're clicking, we should be changing the state value. Now, this is quite small as far as the screen, so let me just go to the big screen. Let's see. Let me open up the components first, just so we can see that everything works. So we have here register. This is the value. And then if we're clicking, we should be changing it. Yep. So we have false to true, true to false, and all that cool stuff. All right, awesome. So now let's scroll up. And like I said, where we have the heading 3, let's start making decisions based on that is member value. So let's set up the curlies. So this is where we want to set up our expression. And I'll say if values is member is true, then we want to go with login. And if the value is false, then we want to go with register. So now we have register, and then the moment we click, we have the login one. Okay, awesome. Then we want to display the name one only if the is member is false, because only then we'll need to provide this value. If the member is already registered, I mean, we don't need to do that. So let's set up here logic as well, where I'll say if this is false, then I only want to display that. So let me move this curly down. And in this case, of course, I didn't select the state. My bad. So values, and now we have the member one. So in this case, complains that it's not defined. Let me refresh. Yep, everything works. So now we click, we have a register here, and then we click one more time, and now we have the login one. So for the login one, we only have these two. And then if we want to register, then of course we have all three. And now let's finally set up those values in the paragraph. So first, as far as the text, let's set up the expression where I'm going to go with values is member. So if the member is true, then I'll say not a member yet. So let's say not a member yet, and then question mark. If the value is false, then we'll say already a member. Already a member. Again, let's add a question mark. That's the first step. And then as far as the button, so all of this stays exactly the same. The only difference is the class name, where we want to go with member-btn. And when it comes to the actual button value, we'll go here values, then is member. Again, we're checking for the value. And again, we have ternary operator. And if the value is true, we'll say register. And if the value is false, we're going to go with login. We'll save it over here. And as you can see, since the question here leads to a login, that's why we have here this opposite logic, where if this is true, then we're asking not a member yet. Then if this is false, then we say already a member. So now as we click, notice, now we navigate to a login with the opposite value. So now we can go back to the register. However, if we already have registered, and if we want to go to login, we click on a login and we display the login option.